Have you ever fallen for like a get rich quick or pyramid scheme or signed up for one of those bullshit schools? The bullshit schools I'm a big fan of.
DeVry?
Yeah.
IGT Tech?
University of Phoenix.
Yeah, I don't know what all of them are, but you don't normally see someone begging you to come to, let's say, University of Pennsylvania or fucking Stanford. We at Stanford are dying for you to pick up the phone right now.
Come on, learn a trade.
Get your degree at night.
Have you ever been part of a get-rich-quick scheme?
Yeah, in my freshman year of college, this kid I knew loosely in one of my classes comes in like a suit and shit and looks like a baller, right?
Right.
I'm like, what the fuck, dude? I thought you had a job. He's like, oh, dude, I'm fucking selling internet. But it's not like a real sales. Just sell it to your friends. It's great.
Everyone know if you know that they tell you to get a list of your friends, you're fucked.
And then the fucking kid's like, come out to Flushing. There's in a hotel. Come out here, and then there's a big fucking conference.
Did you go?
I went, yeah. And they I swear to God, they fucking rented out like Beamers and like fucking Mercedes, and just had people driving around with the logo of the fucking company around on it.
Smart move.
And just make it look like they're everyone
Short
has money.
fucking con.
Yeah.
I did a thing where a guy actually took over something that I had gotten hired. Remember I told you guys I was selling cable, right?
Yeah.
Well, the guy who was leading this, you had to spend 3 days of training of figuring out the words ESPN and HBO and stuff like that. And they want you to say, certain things and it wasn't that much different than what the kids doing now, except for we actually had a product that was worth something. So we show up, and it literally happened at lunch. In the early morning time, right?
Yeah.
We were hearing about here's going to be your areas, you're going to be selling cable to, and, this is a great product. The same guy, we come back after lunch, he's going, I got to tell you, something pretty exciting happened to me at lunch today. What? And it's something I just feel the need to share with all of you. Because if you're anything at all like me, you're worried about your family.
Yeah.
And you're worried about your stability with that family.
It's like he knows me personally.
Wouldn't it be great to know that you can only work when you want to work and be able to have your money, making money while you sleep? Isn't it something? Whoa. So everyone's just fucking staring at him and trying to fucking go, what happened to this cable thing? He's fucking trying to get all the people who just got fucking, I think it was Group W Cable at the time it was called. There's some crazy-ass name. And we all knew we were going to be temp working there anyway. As soon as we walked through these neighborhoods, we'd be done. And he's trying to sell it wasn't Amway, but it was like a fucking offshoot of it, And the bosses came in, they fucking fired his ass, and he was immediately fired up and figuring that, but he wasn't selling it to us. He was letting us in on an opportunity that was not just going to change your life, the life of your children, and the way that, the people that you touch. And you'll be able to, at this point, they'll be working for you. Aren't you tired of being a guy who gets up every single day?
I am.
I hate getting up early in the morning.
You know what?
Yeah.
How would you like to know that people are out there selling while you sleep?
What the fuck?
That's how quickly. As soon as, here's the thing.
Sign me up.
As soon as it fucking sounds too good for a person like you, you should get the fuck out of there.
Run away from that person screaming and crying.
We're talking about get-rich schemes, pyramid schemes. Did you ever get caught up in it before? It's over on the iBanger. You can give us a call at 866-RON-0-FEZ. 866-RON-0-FEZ. Adam, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Ron, growing up, my father told me that his first job was selling leather jackets. Now, come to find out later in life, when I hung out and drank with his friends, that my father never gave me all the info. And come to find out, he was selling leather jackets in '72 from Mexico. And the only reason he got caught is because they were tanning the leather with horse piss.
Oh,
so anytime
Jesus.
it rained, the fucking jackets stunk. And he only made one shipment. And if I ever bring it up, he fucking loses his mind. And when his friends told me, we were all laughing hysterically because they couldn't believe that he didn't tell me this.
Oh, why would he? But I will tell you this. I would bring it up to him every time.
Yeah.
Even on his deathbed. Remember when you were selling those leather jackets and horse piss? Here's Travis in Michigan. You're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hey, gentlemen, I got stuck into one of those Kirby door-to-door vacuum salesman deals up in Detroit where the neighborhoods aren't even there anymore. I mean, they dropped you off in the middle of the hood with a $3,000 fucking vacuum cleaner on a cart trying to sell it to people that don't even make, $20,000 a year.
Here's what happens, too, when you do sell in those neighborhoods. Everybody wants to buy immediately. Yeah.
I hardly didn't sell anything, but I did get some pussy on the job. Door-to-door salesman, get some ass.
When I went walking through any kind of lower income neighborhoods, I fucking sold everything, but nothing would fucking go through. Everybody's credit was fucking hideous. And the reason why their credit is hideous is they just say yes.
Sure.
And I remember fucking heading home going like this. I think I'm going to be rich. At this fucking young age, I'm going to be bringing 7-8 bills a fucking week down. I thought I was fucking loaded. And then I'm sitting there the next morning. You got to, hand in all the things. And the guy's like, well, this ain't going through. I go, motherfucker, they bought the Supreme package. How do you not like this?
Come on.
And there's like, look, these fucking broke dick bastards. I'm like, then why am I fucking down there? You got me around with people just fucking saying yes to everything and have no money.
That's fucked up. Jesus Christ.
Everyone thinks that rich people throw money around. No. Poor people fucking throw money around like it's nothing.
Yeah, rich people don't spend dick.
Hicks will throw his cash around.
Right. Fucking make it rain, whatever it is. Doesn't matter. It could be $3. Make it rain.
He'll have 15, 20 minutes of great fucking times every single payday. 866-RUN-0-FEZ. 866-RUN-0-FEZ.
My father fell for this solar panel thing where he was going to save so much money on his electricity because they put these giant like solar ping pong tables on the roof of our house. And then he was also going to get his system for free if he could talk so many neighbors into it. And of course the thing didn't work. He didn't talk one neighbor into it, and we had these giant things sitting on the top of our house. It was humiliating in the neighborhood.
Why was it humiliating? It didn't work?
It didn't work. He kept trying to sell them to other people in the neighborhood. Like he would talk to
What year was this?
This was probably, I would say, late 70s.
Yeah, because they haven't really even perfected it yet.
No.
I mean, you could be living in the desert still, I think.
And all we had was, like, cold showers, and there was no hot water in the house at all.
Maybe that's why your dick don't work.
Oh.
That could be part of it.
Too many cold showers when you're young.
Let's go over to Gavin. You're on the Ron and Fez show. Gavin.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead, buddy.
My name's Jonathan, but it's all right.
Great.
I was calling about the pyramid scheme thing. I was in it for about 2 to 3 years, and it ruined my life.
In what way? Talk to me.
Let's see. I was at one of the conventions, and it's like this come to Jesus thing on Sunday. It's like a big church gathering saying, doing the business, you're going to be prosperous, and then they tied religion into it. And then I got overwhelmed with like all this emotion. It was so great that I thought I was saved, and then it was such an emotional moment.
What was the product, though?
It was Amway.
So Amway, they honestly tie the Jesus stuff in with?
Yes, it's rough. Like right now, I'm married to a woman who I'm probably getting divorced because the chemistry was not there. It was based on the lie.
Mm-hmm.
I would say I'm pretty much an atheist now.
All because the fucking deal didn't work out the way you liked.
Not even really that. It was just the idea that someone could control you in such a manner. And
so you met her during one of these things, huh?
No, I knew her before, and
Yeah.
I brought her to it, and she was my girl. And then I thought we were gonna. I mean, we call it diamond. I thought I was gonna be rich, and I put all my life into it, and like I don't have. I mean, friends still think of me a little creepy because, you know, you sell to all your friends.
Oh, yeah.
You
I know a guy who, thanks, man. I forgot what he was selling, but something stupid like pots and pans. And this is like after we've been out of high school for 5 years, and he went through the fucking yearbook, calling everybody up like, "Hey, you remember Kenny? Hey, Kenny, what have you been up to?" And like he would like talk to them like friendly, like, "Hey, did you ever see blah blah blah?" And then and they'd be like, "Weird hearing from you because we barely even talked in school." "Yeah, I was just thinking about you." And then he would get to the end of it and be like, "Hey, I just wanted to ask you about your cookware." And he would just go into his spiel.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, the fucking rep got out on him. Like, it was like worse than if he showed up high on dope. You know what I mean? Like, you'd rather have to deal with a meth head at the mall than this fucking dude trying to send you cookware of some kind.
There's so many people selling knives after high school.
Yeah, people get really fucking caught up in
I
that.
did that.
The knife thing got crazy.
Yeah.
I did
Real
that.
crazy. I know at least.
Now, here's the weird thing. Everybody does like a sharp knife.
They're quality knives.
Yeah, but
they're good products.
what would it cost me for a knife set?
A knife like $300. I don't know. I did
Yeah,
my
say,
freshman year
more
of college.
than more than you would normally spend for
Yeah,
knives.
for not. I mean, okay, the deal is great though because you get these knives for life. They get sharpened for free. I'm not trying to pitch anything, but when I did, I was just like, listen, you don't need these knives. You know, like you can buy it, but really,
You're
it's
not
a knife.
you're not a high pressure salesman.
No, not with those at least.
You'd be like, please don't buy from me.
Yeah.
It's just I'm
You don't need
I'm
this.
being watched, so I want to talk to you for a while at the door, and then I'm gonna walk back and tell them that you have knives.
Yeah.
When I was a little kid, going door to door sales was my favorite fucking thing in the world. I would love it. And I would get there was two things I liked. Number one, I always felt like I could make a fucking sale. Number two, I would see in people's houses.
Nice.
And I liked that. I was fucking crazy about it. But I would sell candy, first aid kits, all this kind of fucking shit. But first aid kits was the best thing I ever fucking sold in my life. So candles, though, at Christmas. I made a
big.
bunch of that.
Okay.
And these were candles I was selling. They were falling off a truck. And then we went around and said it was like a boys' fucking
Nice.
club or something. You know, anything that you could fucking come up with like that, people were like, you know, because they're used to band camps and shit like that. So if you give a little kid a bunch of anything, they can move them.
Like the kids on the subway here.
I was selling the M&M peanuts?
Yeah, so
That's all
like-
bullshit.
Yeah, I know.
Basketball team. No,
I
they're
think
fucking
it's a
playing.
hustle personally, but
Yes,
I always
it's
buy
a
it from like
hustle.
the little kids.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
they're
always have to
hustling.
buy it from them.
No.
Yeah, of course you do. And then they turn around and hand it to their pimp daddy. Let's go over here to Itchy. You're on the Run of Fez show.
Hey, I was about, 15 years ago, this bombshell comes to my house. I was all stoned and drunk, and she was selling some kind of travel pamphlets. It cost me like $20. So I was like, oh, yeah, I'll buy them, thinking I could, like, hook up with this chick and obviously never see her again. Unbeknownst to me, every month out of my debit card, $20 was coming out. This went on for years before I realized it. And I guess it was a class action lawsuit. I ended up getting $400 check in the mail. Not all my money, but $400 check in the mail 5 years ago.
That's fucking hysterical.
Yeah. No, it wasn't really.
I think it is. I think it's so. I think the fucking rubes have got to come into them. But you can fuck with these people. Because you ever see the timeshare condo things?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So when I started doing stand-up, I signed up to fucking sell those. I go back, and you had to see so many to make the 400-hour week bonus, right? I fucking went home, pulled out the phone book, and wrote all these fucking cards, just filled them up out of fucking names, took the cards back, picked the 400, I think it was 400, 450. Next week, I did the same thing. Next week, I did the same thing. Fucking fourth week, they're like, dude, we're calling these places. They don't even remember doing it. I'm like, you know what? Let me go back and check my records. and I'll fucking come back and see it, and then I just was fucking gone. I was just fucking gone.
That's awesome.
But I didn't fucking walk out once and talk to anybody. I was just filling out fucking names out of the phone, and I'm like, I wonder how long this will go. Like, when I was driving over, I was like, man, if this goes on for a while, if I can get this going for a while, you know.
That's
and
nice.
then you're driving back, I'm like, they ain't going to come looking for me. And I already got the fucking $12.50 out of them.
Fuck
Boom.
off.
Because they couldn't say, yeah, you did not fucking talk to those people.
It's
I mean, how do you know? Because they're going up talking to people in the parking lots and on the beaches and shit. But, like, they would be calling people up, and they're like, how many times do I have to tell you? I've never filled out this. I don't want to see your... You know, they'd be older people or fucking, you know... Yeah, they were telling people, I don't know, like, you would get a free TV set or something if you looked at a condo.
Great. Can't wait to get that TV.
Frank, Florida, you're on the Run and Fez show.
Ronnie, I got two stories. One that happened to me and one that was me. Whichever one you want, I'll tell.
I don't give a shit. They both sound bad.
When I was in San Diego back in the 80s, we had one of those vacuum cleaner guys come to our house.
Yeah.
And there was three of us that rented this place. It was just a stoner pad, you know. And he comes in with his vacuum cleaner. It had shag carpet in there. And he's demonstrating. And you could just hear the pot seeds just blasting through this thing. He was just eating his vacuum up. And we're sitting there doing bong hits, watching him do it. And kept asking him how much it was. He wouldn't ever tell us till he gets to the end of his spiel, you know, when he got to tell you how much it is. He breaks out the carpet shampoo. We made him shampoo our couch because it looked like shit for everybody hanging out on it. The guy packs up and leaves half the shit there. And we called the company and said, hey, the guy left half of the equipment here. And he never came back to get it. He was so freaked out from us sitting there smoking dope in front of him. He never came back.
Yeah, I'm sure he was just like a regular guy, and you put in 2-3 days to those places and quit. You don't realize how fucked up the general public is. Rob, you're on the Run and Fez show.
Yeah, how's it going, guys? I just want to say I like the show.
Thanks.
What's up, Fezzy?
Hey, buddy, what can we do for you?
Yeah, I do door-to-door sales. I've been doing it forever. And the thing is, you got to, relate to people. It's tough. I mean, I get the cops called a lot. You got to have thick skin. But
what are you selling?
I'm actually doing fiber optic sales right now. But I sold everything.
Doing it. But he's just standing on the street like he's got a table.
Yeah, and I've sold everything from, vacuums, Cutco knives. I've done it all. And the one thing I was going to ask you guys is, how did you transition, because you guys obviously relate to people, how did you transition into the radio?
For me, I just, I was actually selling a radio station, some comics to come in, and I came in with them and ended up staying because they're like, oh, good. This is good. So for me, it was somewhat lucky, and then I fucking brought Fez in. Hicks interned, much like Pips interned, and Coke is interning now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Everybody always wonders how you get into radio, and like the last way to get in is like through any kind of organized way.
I showed up on the last day possible to interview with interns, and I just showed up to the 7th Street, and I was like, hey, Earl, I want to intern for the show.
And then the day that you were saying, look, I can't put up with interning anymore, we just happened to have an opening and hired you.
That was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
That was really
And then
weird.
that's why I was cracking up while you were talking to me.
Well, I was really fucked up over it. I didn't want to leave.
But you know that we had already had the thing and we're going to offer you, right? And you had never once said, look, this is it. I can't go any further. So I let you tell the whole fucking story before I gave you the big happy fucking news. And he was like cracking voice and stuff.
I was very emotional. I didn't want to leave.
I had to use the word pussy. I'm trying to think of another.
It wasn't pussy at all.
Cunt?
No. Box.
There's another room, but but Fez got mad just at Queen. I know he would get mad at that word.
Queen's not that bad.
No, actually, it's not bad at all. Let's go over to Chris. Chris, you're on the Run Fest show.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
All right. When I was younger, Christmas Eve and Christmas, these kids would come knocking on the door. They were about 10, 12 years old, trying to sell candy. on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day with no coat, no nothing. And I remember my parents would always be like, you know, they would always have someone in a van or something waiting down the block, and they'd go and try to look for these people. And they would say, oh, you know, we're trying to sell for a school. But what kind of school is sending a kid out Christmas Eve or Christmas Day to sell candy?
It's just, you know, it's just working. It's just angles. But here's the weird thing. Like, we could all turn around and say these shitty companies, right? But how many regular things now start to come off that way? Like, the thing that's bad about the things that we're talking about is that you bring people in knowing that a majority of them aren't going to get their money out of it, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, let me simply ask you this. How is that different than college? At some point, we should say college is for the people who want to be educated, and not college is going to lead you to some wonderful career. Anyone who says that should get fucking fired or arrested.
I didn't learn shit in college.
Well, it would be up to you. You know what I mean? It would like be up to each person. But even if you go there, I mean, I'm talking to young people all the time who went to college and come out of it with some kind of fucking awards and shit. There's nothing for them. We were talking about how the Joker out in Colorado was so brilliant, but he couldn't get work.
Yeah.
And who knows? I mean, I don't know 100%. But if some of these people had jobs and a sense of worth that you can get from a job, maybe he wouldn't have been so antisocial and crazy.
Yeah.
That was one of the things that came out. Yeah, I think he was working at McDonald's, I think, or Burger King, and then he moved to Colorado. It was really
Starts to fuck with your head after a while.
Yeah. I know, like, people who I majored in philosophy, studied it for 4 years, and what am I going to do with a degree in philosophy? Teach it, I guess? I don't know.
Yeah, but you know what? There's a lot of people that come out and think that they're going to get, you know, engineering jobs and don't. I mean, if you fucking go into philosophy, you know that you just want to sit around and think about thinking.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong with saying, I want to take some time and wait and let a couple years go by before I get involved in the job market. I feel worse for the people who show up. What are they always saying when they fucking walk in here? They got a degree in media or something?
Yeah. Communications.
It's always communications. What the fuck is that?
Yeah. Horse shit.
What the fuck is that? Oh, can you run a board? No. Can you edit? No. What the fuck?
It's like media analysis and like how to communicate, because that's kind of part of my major. But
and you can't communicate at all. You're a stumbling, fumbling bum.
Hardly.
How are your grades?
I have like a 3.0 GPA.
How could you? You can't fucking have a conversation.
I can.
You should get a 0 in everything.
Nuh-uh.
But if you're asked to present any kind of idea, can you?
Yeah.
How many times have we asked you to come in and present something here and you turn it into nutty talk?
All right. And you end up lying about things.
Touche.
You don't have to.
It's not a matter of touche. I'm just being obvious. You act we're fucking debating on this. There's no debate to be had. You walk in here and talk nuts. Okay. You should fail everything. You couldn't even pick up that girl who said, I want to go out with you on Thursday. And you still couldn't get a date with her.
Because you had to edit your buddy's video.
Well, that was needed, though.
Did I tell you that was Carter's band?
Yeah.
Talk about fucking small world.
Yeah.
It's weird.
And Carter says, if you ever badmouth him again by calling him gay, he'll fucking come down here and slam your head into a fucking wall.
He'll fuck you up.
I don't want that.
No, you don't.
Is he a big guy?
Don't worry about it. You're fucking rough.
Thanks.
Didn't you say you were on the wrestling team?
No.
What team are you on?
Soccer, basketball.
All right. Kick him.
Cool.
Kick him and then slam dunk him. Were you a guard?
Yep. Point guard.
For what? Under 5 feet league?
Yeah, I'm over 5 feet, so I couldn't join it.
How tall are you?
5'7".
No way.
Yeah.
Not if you're standing on a box, you couldn't get to 5'7". Turtle, you're on the Run of Fez show.
Maha, buddy.
Hey.
We would go around when I was probably about 12 years old, and we'd get people to sponsor us for a car wash, like 25 cents or a nickel or a dime per car. and we had a petition that we had already gotten other people to sign, and we come back like a week later with 250 signatures and say, hey, you know, you owe me a nickel per car. And some people would actually, you know, write us a check, but a lot of folks were just like, hey, you know, I can't afford that. Can I just give you $35, $40 to make up for it? We're sorry, but I can't. You know, I didn't realize you guys were going to actually wash that many cars, but we didn't wash shit. We had just saved this petition from some previous event.
That's fucking beautiful little scam. That's a real way to fucking abuse older people that are trying to be kind. That's fucking nice.
I worked for a crooked modeling agency once and had to cold call kids to come in.
I know a guy who had the same fucking business.
For headshots.
He set himself up as an agent, and we can get your kids commercial. Yeah. And by the way, this wasn't even in a media center. We can get stuff, movie jobs, blah, blah, blah. So they would come in. Normally it would either be young adults or children, and their parents bringing them. So they would come in, and we'd like... He would be looking over here at Coke, and he'd be like, you know, I've been doing this for a long time, and you're fucking amazing. Seriously, I think we're going to go places. Wow. And I'm going to tell you right now, I mean, I normally charge 5%. I'm only going to take 2.5% out of everything I get you. Let's get this thing started.
Okay.
Let's go. I'm going to send you over to photographer.
Yeah.
And get everything I need so I can start sending this out to Hollywood. And he was they didn't know it. The photographer was him. He had hired the fucking photographer. They would go over and he would hit them up for like $1,000, these fucking shitty pictures.
Yeah, it gets
because they would have the thing of it would be a headshot, then the next headshot where there was 3 fucking pictures on it. And I was in business, like I did some club business with him, some fucking promotional things, and I would go over to this shitty fucking place that he had. It was all rental fucking furniture, right? And he had people always waiting. And the thing is, he was almost like a fucking Joe Pesci, and he'd be like saying to me, hey, I sell dreams. What can I tell you? I sell fucking dreams. You know, everyone feels good. And he used to be like, he said he wrote jokes for Catskill Comics and all this kind of shit. There was like 15 different ways that you fucking make money. So one day I go over to pick up this fucking money from him because something we've been doing in clubs. Everything was fucking empty. I mean, there was just like fucking phone cords in there. He pulls everything out. And he had been running some other scam, like where he was acting like he was a real business and getting people to sell or, you know, give them stuff on consignment. And boom, then he busted out. And I heard later he'd open up like 2 towns over, same thing. Just called himself a different fucking business.
Wow.
And it was something like Star Child, you know, management. And no one went in there that didn't have it. Whatever, you know, you've got the it factor is what you have.
The place I worked at, the week after I quit, the fucking feds raided them for fucking unfair business practices and all that bullshit.
This motherfucker, I'd forgotten this. He had a picture of him. And who was that guy that used to be on local New York fucking TV years ago? You would always, like, he did a shitty talk show.
Richard Bay.
No.
No?
This was like only, that's really mean to Richard Bay, by the way, who's been nothing but kind to us over the years. The guy has a place up on like 8th Avenue now. But he would have like the old Catskill comedians come in and do a show. Blowhard would know it in a heartbeat. So he had to picture the two of them together because he had been on his show before.
All right.
God, that was fucking funny. I forgot all about that. It was so Broadway Danny Rose, but like a dark, awful Broadway Danny Rose. Let's go over to John, Indiana. You're on Run Fest.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Yeah.
Hey, this is kind of, I was involved in Amway quite a bit when I was in college. It's sort of like a cult of success, or what I used to call sort of fake it until you make it. I was involved with a college, and I got approached by a local CPA. He was real well-dressed, gave me this huge presentation, basically signed me up for this Amway thing. And right away he had a diamond ring on. He let me wear it for a while. And for the first month, I signed up, I think it was 50 or 60 people, and apparently that was a pretty big deal at the time. So we had all these awards ceremonies, and they had all these different ways of recognizing that. And I went up on stage a bunch of times, and they started cheering and whatnot. And I thought I was going to be a millionaire so quickly. I dropped out of college, and for about a year, went around and did everything that some of these other people have talked about, and signed up everyone I knew, called relatives. They had all this huge psychology on the inside of we go into these rallies and chanting, and they would hand out these tapes of how to call it. You don't call a job, you call it a job, and everything is sort of designed. Even the persecution of selling this stuff is almost designed to be like, yeah, you'll have a lot of negative people in your life. I ended up losing so many of my friends and some of my close associates through this whole business of trying to sell Amway. They even would say, like, when you go up to give away and do a presentation, you'd leave the car running with the door open and the lights on, so that they would think that you were so busy that you could hardly have time for them. It almost ruined my life. Because
what's weird is, like, and I'm not saying Amway because I don't know anything about them, but a lot of these things use the same kind of thing as cults do. That, look, these other people aren't going to understand you. The people who've been in your life forever are somehow stuck in a rut, and you're in with the only people that are awake.
Shit.
And it's the same kind of stuff, like when they start saying, you're going to start to hear a lot of negative things about what you're doing here. So when it does come up from people, you're like, yeah, I expected this.
They told me this was going to happen.
I knew that you weren't going to understand.
Whoa.
What it's like.
It's fucking weird.
Joe Franklin. That's his fucking name. Joe Franklin. 866 Ron Zero Fez. 866 Ron Zero Fez. Let me go over here to Dan. Dan, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hey, I got roped into going to some meeting for this thing called ACN, which is basically like pyramid scheme for telephone services. And I go, and there's supposed to be a bunch of people, and it's just me in this guy's living room. And I'm video conferenced in with this guy that's selling it to me, and it's Todd Stottlemyre, the baseball player.
That's so fucking funny. That's just fucking great.
Wow, that's really fucking crazy. Stottlemyre fucking killing it, huh?
Wow, I wonder how his pitch was when he sold it.
It's real. Say, that's the weird thing about him. That's what makes me wonder about his college. If they're not just lifting money from his parents. Your parents paying, or did you get a loan?
Loans.
How much you owe?
Let's just say it's over 30,000.
Why don't we just say what it actually is?
What, 50?
Let's say it's in that ballpark.
Why are you afraid?
75?
What the
no,
fuck?
it's not 75.
Well, why are you afraid to tell us?
Probably around 40 grand.
You do not know?
Yeah, I do know. And it's around 40 grand.
So actually, there's a lot of people your age that owe a lot more.
Yeah. I've, like, somebody I know who went to, like, Cornell owes $100,000 in debt. Yeah.
Fuck.
It's not that crazy when you go to some of those kind of schools.
Mm-hmm.
I owe 18 grand, and I'm dodging every day.
It wouldn't matter to you, though, if you owed 18 grand or 1,800. You ain't paying. You're completely a fucking write-off.
Fuck them. Oh, yeah, all my debts have gone to fucking shady debt consolidation places now. The actual schools don't call anymore.
Well, here's the shitty thing that happens. If you don't pay, the government will pay. But it doesn't mean that they stop chasing you. And they get to fucking double down.
Oh, yeah. It shouldn't be that much money I owe. But,
Let me tell you something else. If they took away that thing, the government thing, they would make it a lot harder to get into fucking school, which would probably bring the fucking price down.
Yeah, college is, nothing ever goes down. Harvard never fucking drops in price. It's fucking crazy.
But it didn't used to, like back in the 60s and 70s, it didn't used to cost a fucking fortune to go to these things where you would talk to, like all the young people that you talk to now have a nut hanging over their necks. All of them.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit. For 60 grand a year for fucking Sarah Lawrence College, that's the most expensive.
Well, what's NYU has got to be in that thing, too? All right, 60 grand a year.
For Sarah Lawrence. That's a college in upstate New York. It's like a really, really fucking liberal college. It was right next to SUNY Purchase, my alma mater, if I hadn't been expelled.
I think, wasn't that used to be all women's, right?
It was all women's college, yeah.
Nice.
They used to have, what do you mean nice? What's that?
trying
Like
to
you somehow like women? How come we just saw you fucking dodging Dana?
I wasn't.
Yeah. You had a date with her last Thursday then. You took her out.
Yeah, well, I'll take her out tonight. You'll see.
You
No,
just
we're not.
lie.
No,
You're a crazy
no.
liar.
Seriously, this is going on for 8 weeks. I don't care whether you take her out or not.
Okay.
I'm just saying you're not going to take her out because you don't.
Okay.
You know who he reminds me of? Junior Fez. The fucking agreeableness of, yes, I'm going to take care of that.
Looks like NYU's 25 grand a semester, so 50. Like 50 straight
50 a year.
NYU.
Fuck. So 200,000.
That's if you're
And
going
is that-
on time.
Is that fucking, yeah, that's true. Does that include room and board or that's fucking extra?
Okay, and then the board's another 4 grand.
Yeah, that's just going to be the tuition.
Oh no, that's including. Yeah, that's 25 including fucking going. It's classes and fucking living in New York.
Fez, when you see this kid, does he remind you of a young Fez Watley?
No, because I never wore glasses at that age.
Okay, that's the superficial aspect of it. I'm talking about the agreeableness, where you'll just agree and say, yes, I am doing that, or I will take care of that night, knowing full well he's not going to. He just tilted his head, smiling at me, like, won't I? Fuck. How's your new job working out?
It's going all right.
You selling anything?
Yeah, I made one sale on Thursday.
Then why do you say it's going all right?
Shit. Because, I mean, I would want to make 2 sales.
I
or
know.
3 sales.
Yes, that's what I'm
Yes.
saying. It's going shitty. If you made one
It's a
sale a
learning
week.
process. You know, you got to hit a curb.
Curb.
Yeah.
No one hits a curb. There's not a learning curb.
Or curb, yeah.
Mark, you're on the Run and Fez show. Mark, go ahead.
Hey, I was in a shitty little band in New Jersey, Philadelphia area, and we actually got caught up on a Lou Pearlman scam where they'd send 3 agents out to come see your band, then they ask you to come out to King of Prussia Mall for a big meeting, tell you how great you were, show you videos about how you're going to be a star, and then they hit you with, oh, you got to pay us $500 for us to represent you, and then same.
Was it actually Lou?
It was Lou's company because he got
Yeah.
busted for unfair business for it a little bit down the line.
Lou was the guy, and I had met him before in Florida, who had NSYNC and Backstreet Boys and all them at one time. This motherfucker never stopped hustling bullshit. I mean, he would come around the radio stations all the time down there. And if you just met him, and that seems awful because now he's in trouble, but you'd say, here's the greasiest motherfucker I ever met. And people would come in there like, there's some greasy motherfucker in the lobby wants to talk to the PD. And it was him. And then when he hit like that, immediately he had this giant fucking house. Like one of the biggest houses like in fucking America.
Jesus.
And you're like, well, why does one dude need that? Why does he need that thing? Who's he trying to show off to?
Yeah.
But I had a friend, and this was like years ago, but he went over to Lou's house one night, and it was like Britney was there, and the fucking NSYNC kids and all, and I'm like, and was this a party? He goes, it was kind of a party, but they're little kids. Like, they were really young. Like, they were too young that he even party with. And supposedly Lou was chasing some of those fucking kids around. But look at the size of that house. It was right on the lake. I think
mistake.
Shaq bought that house or somebody crazy. You know, like, you're dealing with those things that, like, when you go to sell the house, there's only a certain amount of people that could even afford it. You know, it's tough to even sell.
That's fucking crazy. Yeah, it's a giant house. It's like fucking multiple buildings and shit. It's not just a one house.
And he's a one dude. Like, what the fuck are you doing, man?
Yeah, there he is with the fucking Backstreet Boys. Or maybe that's 98 degrees. I'm not sure.
And, like, none of those guys would stay with them, like, after they hit because where was the money going? No one could ever fucking work it out.
He just was fucking funneling.
Yeah, and they would be fucking touring around and, like, living on a real tight budget with, like, promises of tomorrow.
And he just fucking colonel.
Yeah, he was.
Colonel.
He really did see himself like he was the colonel. Except for the colonel never got fucking caught. This fucking guy. I think he even left the country when they caught him. It was like one of those dudes.
I like when they run, bounce another country.
Yeah, it's too hard these days.
Yeah, it's impossible, right?
I mean, wherever you go, there's cameras taking fucking pictures of you, and they're going to find your ass.
Shit.
They got these things now. I think we might have put some of this up on the iBang where they just run this stuff through, and every once in a while something goes off. They say it's getting closer and closer to like that weird Batman thing where you can see what everybody's doing.
Oh, shit, like with the fucking second one?
Yeah, they're claiming that there's shit that's really based on real shit.
Whoa.
That's fucking scary.
Where do you see this new Bin Laden fucking movie that looks good because the hunt for Bin Laden, because it's really just going to be about technology.
Zero Dark 30.
Yeah, that they can fucking sit there and like go to these satellites and watch motherfuckers walking around in the mountain. They'll be like, all right, give me a close-up. What that fucker I was up to?
And it's all face recognition software.
Yeah, all right, so he's taking a piss. All right, let me check into his fucking cell phones now. And they'll be able to tap into people's fucking phones and shit.
Fuck.
There's a thing up on the iBank today. This fucking big fat idiot. Some old lady, like, she's like in a wheelchair, one of those fucking stupid things they drive themselves around in. She's screwed up on her medication, so she passes out in the aisle of Walmart, right? She's just laying there passed out. This fat fuck comes up. He looks over like he's checking on her, and then just takes his purse and goes walking out. Look, here she is. No. There she is. She's like got the nods. And look at this fuck.
Just checking it out.
And all he does is get her purse and takes his big, dumb, biggie ass and goes walking out. And all you can see that guy, by the time they grab him and show that to the jury, he's going to look like the worst human alive.
What a fucking dick.
Mm-hmm. I mean, for all he knew, that woman was choking on her own fucking tongue.
Hey, free wallet.
But that's the thing. You can't do anything.
They found him in Indonesia. Lou Pearlman.
Of course they did. He's over there fucking...
Spotted by a German tourist couple. That's weird.
That looks like Lou Pearlman. The guy over there making out with that young boy looks like Lou Pearlman.
Oh.
He had Fezzi's disease. He liked the straight boys.
Damn, they gave him 25 fucking years.
Yeah, but I think he fucked with the government over bread.
Yeah, it was bank fraud, mail fraud, and wire fraud.
And I don't think he had all his IRS shit paid up.
Oh, shit.
They don't like that shit at all. Talk about another system, right? Like, how are we all buying into that immediately?
Yeah, take it. Take my money. Don't worry. You guys know what to do with it.
I always think the funniest fucking job is if you work for the government and then you look at your paycheck and the government is taking money out. You're like, what the fuck? Why are you giving me a raise and then taking the money back?
This is fucked up. He's going to get out in March 2029.
What?
Yeah.
Fezzi, if, like, nobody was around, would you hit on Coke?
No, I wouldn't hit on Kokomo.
Why? What's wrong with him?
What's wrong?
Kokomo, I don't know. He's a little too, physically, I'll tell, he's a little too scrawny for me.
I thought you liked twinks.
I like twinks, but I like kind of a little bit more built twink.
Okay.
And he doesn't. How old are you?
22 years young.
He comes across a little less mature than
I thought that's what you
22
wanted.
years old.
I thought that's what you're looking for.
No, I like the age, but he just seems a little bit more immature.
That's disgusting.
All right.
So you would date a 22-year-old?
Yeah, I would date a 22-year-old, yeah.
All right.
Can I say how old you are so people can throw up?
No, I'd rather you didn't.
If I guess it, would you tell me?
Write it down.
Okay.
Go
Thank
go
you.
see if Dana has a fucking pen.
I got
I
one.
see she's handing it out to people. He made her look for a pen and then write her number down.
What the fuck, man?
Oh, really?
Kokomo. You're getting fucking run over here.
All right. Is this it?
You keep looking up and down at me
Let me
like
see.
you're drawing me.
That's a little too young.
A little too young.
You see the number?
No.
Okay, let me...
He flashed it. No!
Okay, wait.
No, not even close.
He's older than that.
Maniac!
All right. Let me try.
Why,
One
do
more
you think you
time.
look young?
I don't think I look that.
Well, okay. All right.
I prematurely grayed.
No, right on time.
Go.
Liz Sets Fire said that her old boss, scammed people out of millions of dollars. Went to work one day and everything was gone. Now he's in federal prison. Confessions of a gold scammer. He went on ABC News to try to apologize. I can't believe that people are still interested in gold.
Oh, hell yeah. It's
But
fucking
why?
worth more than ever. Cash for gold, baby.
Why do you think people want gold? It's got no use in the real world.
But we've
Like,
placed...
I get that, like, ancient people would go, that's shiny. I really want that. But now we have iPads. Why would you fucking think that a fucking shiny rock was better than an iPad? It's
not.
weird. There's no use for a gold or a diamond at all.
No.
It's the most made-up thing in the world. And yet everybody's acting like, that's security. I honestly think people are going to wake up one day and go, I don't understand why anybody wants gold.
Shit would go crazy when the day that happens.
I've had, like, picked up gold bars before in a place I work at.
Sick.
You know how it made me feel? Like nothing. Like it was heavy. It fucking is ugly. It's stupid.
Mm-hmm. They must be thinking we're going to end up going back to some sort of ancient time. Like the whole thing's just going to bust and we'll go back to thinking Chinese stuff is great.
Chinese stuff is great.
That sounds like shit.
Chinese stuff is pretty good.
What do you mean?
Like, I mean, then it'll be like gold will be like it was in ancient times.
You mean to say shiny?
Because we won't have any money.
Shiny.
I thought you said Chinese too.
Yeah, I said shiny.
We thought you said Chinese. All three of us are going Chinese. We had no idea what you meant there. And we're like, Chinese stuff is great? And you're like, yes. That's weird. The three of us heard it wrong, though. Look who it is, our friend the Blowhard. Hey, Blowhard.
Hey, guys. Hey, Hicks. How you doing, buddy?
Hi, Blowhard.
Ready for the football season?
Yeah.
What can we do for you, pal?
You're talking about selling shit, and do you remember Boys Life magazine had all those ads in the back when you were a kid?
Yeah.
And you could sell all kinds of crap. Well, I got duped into selling seeds. I saw the Stingray bicycle, and it said you can just sell seeds to your neighbors, and you can get this great bicycle and other prizes. Oh, these really great prizes. So I was like 10 years old, and they kept on sending me cases and cases of seeds. And nobody in Brooklyn on my street they'd look at me like I was retarded. They'd say, seeds, for what? Nobody was growing anything. So my father was like freaking out, like, what are these deliveries coming to the house? So finally, after like 16 cartons of seeds came to the house, they sent a bill for like $300, $400. And being
For a little kid.
Yeah, I was a little kid, and I just wanted to get either that Johnny Unitas football from the back or, the Stingray bike. And thank God my uncle was a lawyer and wrote them a letter and just said, hey, he's a minor. But you remember those days when you'd look in the back of a Boy's Life and they wanted you to sell that newspaper that nobody ever read. Remember Grit?
Yeah.
What the hell was that?
I think it was just a made-up thing to sell to kids
Yeah,
to
it was
say
like
that they could have their own business
Like people
selling
get
it.
up in the morning, hey, I want to read the New York Times, I want to read the Post. Oh, let me read Grit. And they were prominent. They were like a big sponsor. They had a full-page ad, sell Grit and make money. And
I've never actually saw a Grit newspaper.
Exactly. I'd like to read one. I don't know if they're still around, but that whole seed thing was such a scam. And they were doing it, it was the Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts magazine. And they must have duped a lot of us kids because they just kept on sending more and more seeds. And I just couldn't believe what a scam it was, It was, and 10 years old, you don't know what you're doing.
But you know what? I think that seed company is still around.
It would not shock me if they're around because they were so like cutthroat. The boxes would just come every week, and it's like 500 envelopes.
Why weren't you moving them? You should have fucking been making your sales.
Because nobody on my block had a garden. A few people had some backyards, but it's concrete. And I would ring the bell, and I'd say, hey, you want to buy? And then I got to the point where I was lying to people saying, hey, it's for my Cub Scout pack. You want to, help us go to camp? Anything I could do. And then eventually my dad's like, what are you doing with these seeds? And I had cases of them. They would just take. It was like a bad sitcom episode.
All right.
And,
thanks, Blowhard.
All right. See you guys.
Talk
at
to
the
you
draft.
soon.
When are we
Peace.
doing it? When's the draft?
Let's go over to Gene. Gene, you're on Fez.
Hey, Fez, way to take down Richard Bay before. That was great. That guy sucks. I want to ask Coke, can he do an Irish accent? Just try that. Fez might be into it.
I don't know. You tell me.
That is really fucking good. Try it again.
I don't know. Oh, wait, hold on.
I'm going to ask you, what part of Ireland are you from?
I'm from Dublin.
Oh, that's really a good accent. Damn. Look who it is. Scram Diggity Dog Daddy.
Hey, boys. You guys were talking about college a minute ago, and I went to Indiana University, and obviously I'm out of state. I'm from Chicago, but it was my last semester, and I paid for all my college. I'm still paying it off. My last semester at college was $82.50 just for classes for the semester. So total, just call it, $17,000 a year. Well, somebody was asking me, they have a 17-year-old kid. They said, how much is it now? And so I looked it up. It was $31,000 for 2 semesters. So it went from $82.50 to $15 whatever. And I graduated in 2005. So that's 7 years, and it's doubled. And I remember my first semester, I think I paid $7,000. So over 4 years, it went from $7,000 to $8,200.
You better fucking pay tomorrow. You better get out of this thing. Thanks, Scram.
Bounce.